Welcome to today's deep dive.
Yeah.
We're exploring a massive high-stakes shift that is currently rewiring global commercial real estate.
Oh, absolutely. It's a fundamental restructuring.
Right. We're looking at the absolute institutionalization of the flexible workspace. It is moving way beyond the early days of, startup co-working and entering this era of aggressive corporate consolidation.
Yeah, we are seeing real estate liabilities literally shifting off balance sheets and transforming into agile operational expenses. It changes how multinational corporations manage their physical footprints entirely.
To understand the mechanics of this shift, we're analyzing two distinct but really deeply connected sources today for you. First, we have a detailed breakdown of a strategic acquisition by the corporate real estate giant Newmark Group.
Right, they recently took a majority stake in a French flexible office leader.
Exactly. And to provide the broader global market context, we're pairing that analysis with data and historical insights from moveandstay.com.
Which is a very different kind of entity.
Totally. They're a platform that has specialized in extended stay solutions and serviced offices across the Asia-Pacific region for over 25 years.
The contrast between those two sources is highly instructive. We have the aggressive contemporary expansion of a real estate behemoth paired with the foundational long-term perspective of a platform facilitating global corporate mobility for a quarter of a century.
The core premise here, for you to keep in mind, is that the traditional, rigid, 10-year commercial office lease is rapidly becoming a relic of the past for a huge segment of the market.
A total dinosaur.
Today, we're looking at how massive corporate real estate firms are racing to acquire flexible office infrastructure and what this means for the future of how and where you work. Okay, let's unpack this.
The anchor for our discussion is Newmark Group significantly expanding its international flexible office platform by acquiring a majority stake in Deskio.
Deskio.
And for context within the European market, Deskio is France's leading flexible and serviced office provider. This move instantly adds over 50 locations to Newmark's international portfolio.
Over 50 prime locations in a major European market in a single transaction. That is a massive operational leap.
It's huge.
It really highlights a specific strategy. Newmark is not, they aren't attempting to build out a flexible office network organically.
Right, site by site.
Yeah, which would take years of capital expenditure and local market negotiations. They are systematically acquiring established, dominant regional players to rapidly assemble a cohesive global empire.
What's fascinating here is that this is not an isolated transaction. This acquisition directly follows Newmark's move to acquire the assets of Knotel.
Oh, right.
When we look at these moves in tandem, the corporate playbook becomes crystal clear. Newmark is building a centralized global powerhouse by absorbing the infrastructure of regional leaders.
And the operational complexities of integrating a distressed asset portfolio like Knotel with a thriving localized leader like Deskio under one corporate umbrella.
They are immense.
Yeah, it's immense. But the strategic payoff is a truly global, unified, flexible real estate network.
Exactly.
Understanding the target of this acquisition tells us a lot about the future of commercial real estate. Deskio was founded in 2016 by Benjamin Tabboul and Frank Zorn, and a critical detail in the source material is that these founders are not cashing out and walking away.
No, they're staying on.
They are remaining in place to lead Deskio and work directly with Newmark to drive expansion across European and international markets.
In mergers and acquisitions of this scale, retaining the founders is often just as important as acquiring the physical assets. Newmark is basically purchasing localized market intelligence and operational expertise.
Because operating commercial real estate in Paris involves entirely different regulatory, cultural, and logistical frameworks than operating in New York or London.
Precisely. Tabel and Zorn understand the nuances of the French market, from navigating local zoning laws to managing regional contractor networks. You can't just parachute a New York executive in to handle that.
No, absolutely not. And the product Deskio offers also fundamentally redefines what we mean by flexible workspace. We have to separate this from the outdated stereotype of a shared co-working space where freelancers plug in laptops at communal tables.
Right, the ping pong tables and free beer model.
Exactly. Deskio provides on-demand, tailored, large-format workspaces. They're delivering fully serviced offices, dedicated meeting and event spaces, comprehensive design and build services, and full property management.
The inclusion of design and build services alongside property management is the crucial differentiator here.
How so?
Well, when a company signs a traditional lease, they are handed an empty shell. They then have to manage a massive capital expenditure project to build out the interior, hire local contractors, install IT infrastructure, and then manage the ongoing facilities. Deskio abstracts all of that friction away from the tenant.
Which brings us to their client roster. The sources indicate Deskio is servicing heavy-hitting blue-chip companies. We're talking Spotify, Shell, HubSpot, AXA, and TikTok.
Fascinating mix.
It really is striking to see a legacy energy firm like Shell with highly predictable headcounts and traditional corporate structures, adopting the exact same flexible footprint strategy as a hyperscaling tech firm like TikTok.
The convergence of those seemingly disparate corporate models onto a single real estate platform is incredibly telling. Despite their vastly different business models, both Shell and TikTok recognize that agility is now a core requirement of corporate strategy.
They both want to deploy teams into a major European market without the immense logistical burden of traditional property management.
Yes. By utilizing a provider like Deskio, these corporations shift massive long-term capital liabilities off their balance sheets and replace them with agile operational expenses that can scale up or down based on market conditions.
You can think of it as a turnkey enterprise solution. It is almost like these major corporations can essentially order a custom-built, fully managed headquarters like they are ordering off a menu.
That's a great analogy.
You simply dictate the headcount, the necessary IT security protocols, and the branding requirements, and the provider hands you the keys to a fully operational, localized office.
The productization of commercial real estate is the exact phrase for it. And we need to look at where these 50-plus new French locations fit into Newmark's broader corporate architecture. These assets were being integrated directly into Newmark's Global Corporate Services Group, often referred to as GCS.
The GCS division appears to be the primary engine driving this entire acquisition strategy. Our sources detail that this specific group focuses on delivering a comprehensive array of workplace services to international companies.
They've been growing incredibly fast.
Right. The GCS group experienced substantial growth in the first half of 2021, strategically bringing on numerous senior experts and securing a significant increase in new business assignments.
The surge in demand for these services reflects a broader corporate realization. Integrating the Deskio portfolio and the Knotel assets allows the GCS division to offer highly robust portfolio strategy, leasing operations, project management, and facilities management all under one unified corporate roof.
So they are capturing the entire life cycle of a company's real estate needs.
Exactly.
The strategic vision for this integration comes directly from Barry Gosin, the CEO of Newmark. He explicitly emphasizes the company's long-term confidence in flexible solutions. The defining concept he introduces is the absolute necessity for a holistic view of international real estate.
That holistic view is the vital metric for modern portfolio management. Companies are fundamentally auditing their entire operational footprints. They're evaluating their centralized headquarters, their distributed satellite offices, and their remote work frameworks.
And they are recognizing the sheer inefficiency of a fragmented real estate strategy.
Yep.
Because the logistical friction of managing a globally distributed workforce is staggering when handled piecemeal. Imagine you have a core team in Paris, remote talent hubs across Asia, and an executive center in London.
Right, dealing with disparate real estate laws, multiple regional vendors, and staggered lease renewals in every single jurisdiction is an administrative nightmare that drains corporate resources.
Barry Gosin and Newmark are structuring their business around the premise that massive, multinational corporations want a single platform.
They require one centralized point of contact capable of managing everything from high-level global portfolio strategy and localized workspace design, all the way down to daily facilities management and workforce enablement on the ground. They are building a single pane of glass for global real estate portfolio management.
Now, this expansion into Western Europe by a major corporate player is a massive indicator of the market's direction, but it is only one half of the global ecosystem we are exploring today.
We need to look east.
Exactly. To fully comprehend the scale of this flexible infrastructure, we have to expand our lens to the Asia-Pacific region and examine the foundational market context provided by MoveAndStay.com.
While Newmark's aggressive acquisitions are making current headlines by corporatizing the flexible office space, the underlying digital and physical infrastructure for global professional mobility has been steadily maturing for decades.
MoveAndStay has operated as a pioneer in this specific sector. In fact, MoveAndStay.com has been helping business travelers for over 25 years, connecting them with extended stay solutions across Asia-Pacific.
They were doing this before it was a trend.
Long before the phrase work from anywhere entered the corporate lexicon. They specialize in service departments, hotels, and serviced offices, which are ideal for stays longer than just a few days. Trusted by professionals, entrepreneurs, and corporate teams, Move and Stay makes it easy to find a comfortable place to live and work abroad.
We must define the specific demographic utilizing this mature infrastructure. The user base consists of agile teams executing multi-month operational expansions, executives relocating to establish regional footholds, and specialized project teams needing immediate, localized infrastructure.
The requirements of a corporate team deploying for a 6-month project are vastly different from a standard business trip. They require robust service departments, specialized corporate hotels, and fully equipped serviced offices.
They need environments designed for long-term productivity and residential comfort without the friction of signing multi-year residential leases or navigating local utility contracts.
The geographic distribution of Move and Stay's network illustrates the staggering scale of this parallel ecosystem. The data outlines a comprehensive web of flexible infrastructure blanketing the major economic engines of the global economy.
It really does.
The locations supported by this platform map directly onto the world's most critical business hubs. They facilitate extended stay service departments in primary financial centers like Singapore, Hong Kong, and Tokyo, alongside major growth markets like Bangkok and Kuala Lumpur.
And their office network is just as extensive.
Right. Their serviced office network extends further, encompassing London, Dubai, Sydney, Shanghai, Manila, Jakarta, Seoul, and Mumbai.
Looking at that list of cities, you see the exact markets where multinational corporations are desperately trying to optimize their footprints. This is where the two primary threads of our analysis synthesize.
How so?
We have the macro-level corporate acquisitions represented by Newmark absorbing Diskio to provide turnkey satellite offices in Paris. Simultaneously, we have the mature...
The global infrastructure supporting the modern workforce has evolved past the conceptual phase. It's a fully matured, highly sophisticated web prioritizing ultimate flexibility, premium centralized service, and immediate global reach.
The legacy model required companies to mold their operational strategies around the rigid constraints of commercial real estate. The modern model forces the real estate to fluidly adapt to the immediate strategic needs of the enterprise.
We are witnessing the complete commoditization of the physical workspace. Real estate is no longer viewed as a static asset. It is being consumed as a flexible service.
When a corporate entity can scale its physical presence up or down in Tokyo, Paris, or Dubai with the same ease that it scales its cloud computing resources, the strategic implications for global business are profound.
So what does this all mean? Distilling the insights from the Newmark acquisition data and the historical market context of Move and Stay, the conclusion is definitive. The era of the rigid 10-year corporate lease is being systematically dismantled and replaced by a highly agile, globally connected real estate ecosystem.
It's happening from the top down and the bottom up.
Exactly. This transformation is driven simultaneously by massive institutional consolidation at the top, such as Newmark building its global corporate services division, and by the deep, localized infrastructure built over decades by extended stay platforms, facilitating mobility across vital regions like the Asia-Pacific.
This systemic shift leaves you, as the listener, with a highly provocative concept to analyze.
I'm intrigued.
If a multinational enterprise possesses the capability to instantly deploy fully managed bespoke satellite workspaces in Paris with a single contract, while seamlessly housing their critical talent in ready-to-work service departments from Tokyo to Mumbai, the logical endpoint of this trend is the complete obsolescence of the traditional corporate headquarters.
Wow. So the centralized, monolithic building dictating the geographic center of a company begins to look like a massive, unnecessary liability on a balance sheet.
Exactly. We are rapidly approaching a paradigm where every major global city functions merely as a plug-and-play node within a company's decentralized network. The enterprise of the future will not conquer a city by pouring concrete and signing a decade-long lease.
What will they do instead?
It will simply log into a global real estate platform, activate the required nodes for exactly as long as they are profitable, and power them down the moment the strategic objectives shift.
The concept of the headquarters transforming from a physical location into a distributed, flexible network fundamentally changes how we understand corporate strategy.
It changes everything.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the accelerating evolution of global commercial real estate. Keep analyzing these shifts, keep exploring the infrastructure behind the headlines, and we will catch you on the next one.